This program is brought to you by 22trust.
They will return from the land of their enemy, so there is hope for your future, declares the Lord. Your children will return to their own land.
I remember hiding in her house with 15 other people, including the woman and her baby. We were very quiet. We could hear every step the Nazi commanders were taking outside, searching for people. Suddenly, the baby started to cry. To save the lives of all of us, the mother placed a pillow over the child's face to keep him quiet, and the baby died.
When the Germans came to our town, they found my grandmother and my aunt and told them they must leave at once. They wanted to pack the belongings, but the Germans said no, there was no time. They took the Bible and they were marched to Baby Yar. The people that saw it said that they were shot or buried alive.
The Holocaust under the Nazis, as the Jewish people were almost totally annihilated here, was followed by a period of Soviet domination. There's a verse of scripture in the Psalms which says, "Come, let us destroy them as a nation, that the name of Israel be remembered no more." Under the Nazis, the destruction of the people. Under the Soviets, the stripping away of what remained of their soul and of their Judaism, removal from the scriptures. Today, what an opportunity those of us have that believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to bring them back to their roots, to encourage them, and of course, to help them to their biblical homeland, Israel. The process of making Aliyah only starts for a Jewish person when they see their future and their home in the land of Israel. When the fear of going to Israel is greater than the fear of staying, they will stay. When the fear of staying is greater than the fear of going to Israel, then they will move. For our part in this process, it's not just a question of getting them documents and helping them in physical and practical ways. It's a question of building their soul up, giving them the dignity that they as Jewish people should and can have. For us to begin to see that spark, that light kindled once again in Jewish eyes, to see that hope, to see their stature begin to grow, this is wonderful.
I have always hidden my Judaism in the Ukraine. When I was young, my whole family took on a Ukrainian last name because it was impossible to live here as a Jew. Even today in the small village where I live, nobody knows that I am Jewish. I live here with my 8 children and their families. Since my husband died, it has been very difficult to earn money. In the summer, we mend nets for the fishermen, but in the winter there is nothing to do. So we try to survive on my small pension. You see the conditions we live in here. I used to cry at night when I went to bed, but now I have learned to just go on with my life. All that I can think about is better future for my children. In the Ukraine there is no future. There are no jobs for my children and everything here is getting more expensive. With the help of Exobus, we have begun the process of Aliyah, going to Israel. They also help us by bringing us clothes, which is necessary since we need to live on something. But really, our greatest desire is to get to Israel quickly, so we can live and have a better life. We can't wait to get to something better than this.
So there is hope for your future. Your children will return to their own land. Reza herself, a Jewess who has hidden her identity for many, many years, at last is ready to hold her family together. She's a real matriarch. And it's been our privilege and blessing and joy to help this family. And I'm pleased to announce that within a matter of weeks or the next month or two, they will be in the land of Israel. And that is due in no small part to your help. Bless you. And please help us to help more Rezas and more of these families scattered in these remote communities and in dire poverty and need. You and I can help. Let's do it.
Your gift will assist 4922 Trust to pursue the all-important task of Aliyah, helping Jewish people home to Israel. Aliyah Assistance helps 4922 Trust associates in providing moral and spiritual support, documentation help, humanitarian aid, and transport to the airport from where they fly direct to Israel. Will you call the number on your screen and help more people like Reza who are in desperate need and whose hope of returning to Israel can only be realized with the commitment of friends like you?
The prophet Jeremiah speaks of a day when men and women won't talk about the exodus from the land of Egypt. Instead, they'd talk about the exodus from the land of the north. And here, in the land of the north, the former Soviet Union, we are seeing in our day, in this generation, Jewish people making their exodus to the land of Israel. We call that Aliyah, going up to the land. It's making their ascent to Israel. Prophet Jeremiah goes on to say that in that day of the restoration of the Jewish people, that God would send for many fishermen, and they will catch them. Well, yes, maybe there is a way we could be considered God's fishermen, taking the bait of the Word of God, showing the promises to the Jewish people that He is going to restore them, not only physically, but in their soul, building them up, restoring the Jewish soul to the land of Israel, and one day to know God Himself. Exodus Project staff actively take part in the task of encouraging Aliyah by holding fishing concerts. The Jewish community is invited to get in touch with their Jewish roots and to learn about the call of God on Jews to return home to the land of Israel.
I came here today because this is our roots. We have to learn about our Judaism. In the Soviet times, we could not express our Judaism. Even when we were in school, the other children would beat us because of our last names. I want my children to be proud of their heritage, to be able to practice their religion.
First, there is a cultural event that connects the guests with their Jewish heritage. After being entertained, the guests are invited to a reception where they are taught Jewish history and about why the miracle of Israel is so important to the Jewish people. And I speak to you as a Christian. It's the fact that the Jewish people have survived. You have survived. You survived the Christian anti-Semitism which said you convert to Christianity or we kill you. You survived the persecution under the Nazis when 6 million of your people were killed. You even survived communism who said you will not believe in God. You know, it's God's idea that the Jewish people would be gathered home once again from the nations of the world. And it's God's idea that Jewish people can call Israel home. Will you allow God to light a candle in your heart for the miracle of Israel? You will? Let's stand and let's sing together. Thank you. Hevenu shalom aleichem.
Hevenu shalom alachem. We bring peace to you. Speaking to Jewish hearts about the promises of God to bless them, to restore them to their land, and to restore them to Himself is a real blessing. Your gift to 4922 Trust will help rescue the scattered people of Israel. Call the number on your screen and help spread the word of peace, hope, and love in the Lord God of Israel.
For a long time, the Jews have always been the scapegoats for anything that has gone wrong. Even now, it is still the same. If there is a problem, the Jews will be blamed. But this is not just in the Ukraine. Watch the news and you can see it everywhere in the world. You see a problem and people are protesting against the Jews. Anti-Semitism is alive and thriving in the Ukraine.
When I went to school as a child, I was always made fun of because of my last name. Even today this continues to happen. We often heard the fact that we are Jews.
I'd experienced anti-Semitism throughout the years at my job. The other workers would call us Yids, and often we would not get promoted even though we deserved the promotion. We would be passed up because we were Jews.
The Jews of the Ukraine have lived under the fear of persecution for years. They have been afraid to practice their Judaism. Our goal is to return them to their Jewishness, teach them how to practice their religion, and then how to make them proud that they are Jews.
O God, do not be silent. Be not quiet, O God, be not still. See how your enemies are astir, how your foes rear their heads. With cunning they conspire against your people. They plot against those whom you cherish. Come, they say, let us destroy them as a nation, that the name of Israel be remembered no more. This monument here, put there by the Soviets, actually had no reference to the Jewish people. But here, in the 2-day period, the Nazis rounded up more than 33,000 Jewish people and systematically shot them to death, put them into the pits, into the ravine, covered their bodies, that the name of Israel be remembered no more. Today we stand here, we remember Israel, we remember the Jewish people, we honor their name as a community of people that God chose to be a light to the nations of the world.
Vika is the light of my life. She is a very good girl. She always brings a smile to my face. She makes me feel young again. She is always saying, "Grandma, what can I do? You need my help." I teach her to work around the house and how to cook. She is a very good helper. My daughter. I will tell you about my daughter who was in jail when she gave birth to Vika. I don't know where she is. She brought Vika to me and then she left. I have never heard from her again. The Ukraine is a very hard place to live, especially if you're a Jew. Vika will have no future here if she stays. My son Sasha moved to Israel. He made Aliyah. He now has a very good job working at kibbutz. Sasha misses Vika and me very much. Vika calls him Papa. I had a heart attack recently and Sasha told me that I must come to Israel soon to get appropriate medical attention. You see, in the Ukraine the medical treatments are very expensive and they're really not very good. Exobus has been helping us so much by giving us money and clothing. Polina has become friends with Vika. It gives us so much hope for the future.
I met Vika in the spring. She was very shy at first, then we became good friends. I love Vika and Vika loves me. Soon we will help them with their documents so they can move to Israel. I will miss Vika very much, but I have so much joy that she will have a good future.
I can't even imagine the joy I will feel the day I step off the plane in Israel. I will finally be free to be a Jew and not hide my Judaism all the time. I will be able to speak Yiddish. I will not have to worry every day about Vika's future.
Vika herself has been abandoned by her mother. But it's great to see that the babushka, the son, the uncle of Vika, are so caring and so longing for the family to be united in Israel. Let's not abandon them. Let's not abandon children like her. Let's help them home, for it's within our hands and power to do it.
Will you call the number on your screen? You can raise your voice with us and help bring freedom to the Jewish people. To help families like Vika's come together in the land of Israel is both a privilege and a blessing. Your gift of $49.22 or your gift of any amount will bring blessing and help unite them together in the land where God said He would restore their soul and wipe away their tears. Your gift will enable 22 Trust Associates to provide moral and spiritual support, documentation help, humanitarian aid, and transport to the airport from where they fly direct to Israel. As God enables you, show the Jewish people how much you care.
I've been working in this orphanage as a caregiver for 26 years. Right now, I'm the mother of 25 children. My job is to try to give my children the love of a mother. But when I look into their eyes, I see an emptiness, and I know that I could never be their mother. I can never replace what these children have lost.
We have many children in school whose parents prohibit them from mixing with children from the orphanage. Often, I feel like I'm from another country, another world where no one knows me. It's very lonely.
These children are very creative, smart, and talented. If they're given a chance, they will do well. We try our best to prepare these children to leave the orphanage, but how can you teach someone to live on their own with just a few months of training?
You know, children in orphanages like this have no hope really for the future. One of the orphanage leaders said they follow in the footsteps of their parents. They go into the drug houses, to the prostitute houses. They fall into criminality. We can do something to help them.
Exhibit staff regularly visit the Jewish orphans, giving them love and support and encouraging them in their Jewish roots. Our biggest challenge is to research their family history and to find the documents which will prove their right of return in order for them to make Aliyah. Children like Vitalik and Yanek are joy to work with. They're so loving that it is hard to have to leave them in the orphanage, but a real joy to know that we, God willing, can help them have a secure future in Israel.
What does the Bible say? It says for the Jewish children, they will survive in the land of their enemy. And there is hope for your future, declares the Lord. Your children will return to their own land. And we can help in that process.
Please call the number on your screen. Your gift will help rescue abandoned Jewish children, bringing Jewish sons in our arms and Jewish daughters on our shoulders home to Israel, where they have a hope, a people, a nation, and their God. Your gift of any amount will help bring hope, comfort, and support.
You know, here in the Ukraine, there are so many Jewish people who are in enormous need. To be in a community where they're accepted is so important. And to have friends like you and I, Christian friends, Jewish friends, around the world, those of us in the West, who can help them with their passports or their documentation. What a privilege, what a blessing we can be to the Jewish people.
ברוך אתה אדוני מלך העולם הזה, קיצרנו בין מצוותיו וציוונו לפג אכלנו של שבת.
ברוך אתה אדוני מלך העולם אמרתם לחם עם חרד אמן.
For me, it's joy, joy, joy to see my grandchildren recite the Sabbath prayers in Hebrew. Polina takes them to learn Hebrew at the seminars that are sponsored by Exodus. It's such a warm feeling to see them learning about their Jewish religion and culture. My daughter was a drug addict. One day she was on the balcony of our apartment and she fell to her death. Everyone was in shock. The police came. It was total chaos. After the police left, my grandchildren told me, "Grandma, you raised Mom. Now please, you have to raise us also." I was just a mess because of my daughter's death, but the children told me to pull myself together because they needed me to take care of them. Igor is the head of the family now. He is the man of the house. I have high blood pressure and other health problems. When I'm not feeling well, Igor cooks and takes care of the girls for me. He is a lot of help and I could not do it without him. I want only the best for my grandchildren's future. Lena wants to be a chef. Ira wants to be a model and Igor wants to work with computers, and he is already very talented with this. In the Ukraine, it will be very difficult to grow up and actually get these types of jobs. I think that their only hope will be in the land of Israel. Without Exodus, this would have been a very difficult year. They have not only provided us with help for food and clothing, but they also paid for my grandchildren to go to camp and to seminars where they learned about their Jewish heritage.
You know, it's a real delight to be here in this home and share this simple Shabbat celebration. You know, Ina is a wonderful babushka to these 3 children. And it's been our delight to work with this family for a number of years, supporting them in their physical and immediate needs, but also seeking to deepen the Jewish identity that this whole family has. The babushka, Jewish, her daughter, Jewish, sadly now dead, these children, Jewish. And we know very well that their future, really, the greatest hope would be if they could make Aliyah. To be in the land of Israel, they would thrive, they were a wonderful family. We need your help to secure this family's future and other families like them. It says in the Bible that if we Gentiles have shared in the Jews' spiritual blessings, we owe it to the Jews to share with them our material blessings.
That great apostle to the Gentiles, Paul, said that we Gentiles owe it to the Jews to share with them our material blessings. Your material gift will help 22 Trust Associates bring the Jewish people home to Israel. Do call us, raise your voice with us, stand with us, and help us fight the curse of anti-Semitism which is still in our midst, that we may see the establishment of God's people in His land for His glory. Will you who have shared in the Jews' spiritual blessings call the number on your screen right now? Whatever your gift, I want to assure you that you will be sowing into the ministry of Aliyah, bringing hope to Jewish souls.
We are very excited, but also a little bit nervous. Our life is about to change. We are moving to Israel, making Aliyah. I think there will be a much better opportunity to find a job that I can be proud of and to be able to support my family in a decent way.
It will be a bit of change for us, but a change for better. I will feel comfortable knowing that my daughter will grow up in an environment where she will be safe and be able to achieve her future goals.
It's hard for me to leave my friends here, but I will be able to write to them. Also, I'm looking forward to making new friends.
In Israel, Sasha will be able to get a good education and will also go into the army when she is older. This will teach her discipline and will help her in her future.
I'm not sure yet what it means to be Jewish. It is interesting to learn about this. I enjoy celebrating the holidays and will be excited to be part of something that I can believe in.
It is hard to leave my mother and my relatives here. My hope and my dream is that once we are settled in Israel, my mother will make Aliyah.
It is painful to see my children and my granddaughter leave. I have lived in the Ukraine all of my life, and I can say for sure that this country doesn't take care of its people. My children are making the right choice in moving to Israel. I hope to join my daughter Israel in 1 year when my husband retires. I also hope that we will be able to get the help of an agency like my daughter did, so that we will be able to make Aliyah.
For these Jewish people who are leaving today, this is their own personal exodus, a day they will never forget, a day when they will be launched or birthed into a new life in Israel. You know, the words of the Israeli national anthem, called Hatikva, meaning the hope, actually sum up Aliyah and all that it means. As long as deep in the heart the soul of a Jew yearns, and forward to the east, to Zion an eye looks, our hope will not be lost. The hope of 2,000 years, to be a free nation in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem.
Hatikva means hope. It points to Aliyah. It spells out hope for the Jewish soul. The prophet Isaiah in chapter 49 verse 22 speaks of the day when Gentiles participate in the task of Aliyah, carrying Jewish sons in their arms and Jewish daughters on their shoulders. Today I invite you, through the ministry of 22 Trust, to participate in God's prophetic program and to help support the return of the Jewish people home to Israel. Your gift of 49.22 or your gift of any amount will help bring hope to a Jewish soul. Call, even if you've called before. Maybe you want to call again. God is no man's debtor, and He promises to bless those who bless the seed of Abraham. I'm just asking you exactly what God is asking you to do now. Please call the number on your screen. Join with us in bringing hope to a Jewish soul. Help us to support those making Aliyah, to ascend to the land of and to the God of Israel.
I want to thank you for joining us. And with your continued support, we can help Aliyah happen for many, many more families.